In this video, we're going to demonstrate how to set up a re-engage workflow in SeniorPlace. Please note that you will need to be part of the premium plan to access workflows, and you will need to be an administrator user to create a new workflow. The first step to the process is to navigate to the settings cog in the upper right and click Settings. Next, go to Agency Settings and Workflows. You'll now need to click Create Workflow. From here, choose Client Re-engage Task and rename and redescribe that workflow if you'd like. You can then click Create Workflow. At this point, you get to customize the workflow to fit your team's needs. First off, if you don't have per recipient tracking set up yet, you'll notice this caution sign right here. In that case, please reach out to our support team, support@seniorplace.io, to make sure we get per recipient tracking set up prior to publishing this workflow. Next, you get to set the client status filter. This means that the re-engage task will only be created if a client is in the statuses you select. If you want this re-engage workflow to trigger on any status, you can leave this blank. In our case, we only want this to trigger on a few different statuses. Next, you get to set the inactivity threshold. This workflow will only trigger based on a few factors. First off, it will only trigger when a client has opened an email. Second, it will only trigger when a client is within a certain status. And third, it will only trigger when that inactivity threshold is met. This means that it's been 21 days since an email from that client has been opened, and it's been 21 days since an email on that client has been sent. So you're able to customize this number to fit the needs that your team has. Next, you can set the task description of the task that is automatically created. It's worth noting that if you leave this double curly brace client.name text, that will change to the client's actual name when the task is created. However, you don't need to leave this if you don't want. You can always change this. Next, you can choose who that task will be assigned to. If you want the task to be assigned to whoever the client is assigned to, just leave this box blank. You can then set the task type if you want. If you don't want a task type for this task, you can leave it blank. But in this case, let's set it as a call task type. Finally, if you want the task owner to be notified when that task is created, make sure this box is checked. Once you're happy with how that workflow is set up, just click Publish Workflow, and the workflow will be activated from then on. If you ever need to unpublish that workflow, simply go into the same setting, click that pencil icon, and change it to a draft. Or if you want to delete it altogether, you can click the trash can icon here.